Asakusa is one of Japan's most famous tourist destinations. It's home to the iconic Sensoji, which is the oldest temple in Tokyo. Every day, the grounds are bustling with worshippers and visitors from around the world. But there's also much more to this area. In the summer, the nearby backstreets host a variety of traditional events that bring the local community together. Like a potted plant fair that's been going on for 400 years. Or this ritual held at a famous temple to pray for the strength to beat the heat. We'll come upon flowers with cool colors that refresh both mind and body. And even a small-scale replica of Japan's most famous mountain.
こちらは富士山になります。
We'll learn why this shrine has a miniature Mount Fuji and why people gather to climb it. Join us as we discover local customs and wisdom handed down since ancient times. Today, we dive into Asakusa and experience its time-honored summer traditions.
Hi, I'm Felicia, and here we are in Asakusa. I'm sure many of you recognize this very famous place right behind me. You can see all the tourists there. But today, we're not going to visit there. We're actually going to take a look in the back streets of Asakusa to see even more of the charm this town holds.
First, we head to the area to the north of Sensoji Temple. This neighborhood has quietly marked the passage of time for generations, retaining its traditional character, even as redevelopment transformed other parts of the city.
Just look at that, just 5 minutes away from where we just were. And can you see the contrast already? It's so relaxing, so comforting.
Nestled in between residential houses are intimate dining establishments that have long served as gathering places for discerning adults. If you're lucky, you can even spot kimono-clad geisha walking along the streets. But perhaps the most distinctive feature of this area is the sheer number of temples and shrines. It all goes back to 1657, when a major fire destroyed over half of old Tokyo. As reconstruction began, the shogunate relocated many temples and shrines to Asakusa. Today, those sacred sites host a wide range of traditional events in early summer.
There's a big gate here. Wow, there are a lot of people over there. I wonder what's going on. I see some lanterns. I'm gonna go in. What is that?
We've arrived at a 400-year-old temple known as Chokokuji. There appears to be an event going on.
This is what everybody's come to see. Look at all of these beautiful flowers. It goes all the way down there.
It's a hydrangea festival, featuring clusters of flowers in an array of soft colors. These blossoms have long been considered harbingers of summer.
It's beautiful. I really like the colors in here. We have blues, purples, light blues. It's kind of like cool, and I get a cool and soothing feeling just looking at them.
Here at the temple, they're displayed and sold in late June, when they reach peak bloom. The event is organized by Chief Priest Igeta Eishu.
花っていうのは見た目でもすごく涼を取れますし、大変心が安らぐ花でございます。本当に涼しいかって言ったら今は暑いと思う、
はい、
でも見て涼しそうだなって思って感覚としてフィールすること、これが日本人の涼っていう感覚なのかなって思ってます。
In Japan, it's long been accustomed to admire the cool tones of hydrangeas in bloom as a way to beat the heat and humidity. Meanwhile, this temple gets many visitors who are looking to pray for good health throughout the summer. So Igeta decided to combine the two. He started this festival 20 years ago to give temple goers a chance to celebrate the arrival of summer. It's since become an annual Asakusa tradition that draws in many locals and tourists alike.
It's すごく綺麗だと思います。いろんな種類があるし。
なんかお空のイメージ感が出て綺麗。
これだけ綺麗な色で私たち楽しませてくれるかなっていうところが私は好きで。
During the festival, special prayer services are held in the main hall. This too is a time-honored tradition for beating the heat. First, priests hand out the necessary implements. An unglazed earthenware plate. Next, they go around placing some kind of soft, woolly substance atop of each plate, which is then lit on fire. This prayer method is practiced by the Nichiren sect of Japanese Buddhism. Participants soak up the warmth while listening to priests recite sutras. This is said to improve circulation and reinvigorate the body, thereby warding off summer fatigue. The soft mass that's lit aflame is known as moxa. Long used in traditional Japanese medicine, it's prepared from dried mugwort leaves and provides a mild, slow-burning heat. These prayer services were originally held only for followers of Nichiren Buddhism, but Igeta was determined to make it more inclusive, and so he made it open to everyone free of charge. At the end of the service, Felicia is ready to face the summer heat.
So it's very hot. So I felt like I just came out of a sauna, except the difference is the heat is coming from up here and it spreads down throughout your body. But I feel very refreshed, very good.
Next, we head to an area just a couple of blocks away from Sensoji Temple.
Looks like they're selling some potted plants. And look at the whole street. It's kind of lined with these plants. I wonder if it goes all the way down there. I'm gonna check.
Today, a series of open-air stalls line this normally quiet Asakusa street. This potted plant fair is said to be 400 years old. Every year during the last weekend of May and June, dealers and nurseries gather here to showcase their best offerings.
Look at all those pines. You know, pines are very symbolic in Japan. Ah, it's beautiful. This is something you don't see every day. I didn't know that they were selling moss like this. Look how beautiful it is. It's really beautiful. I never saw moss inside of one of these planters before for sale.
During the peaceful Edo period, appreciating seasonal flora became a pastime for the masses. In the 18th century, the widespread availability of flower pots made home gardening an accessible and popular hobby. Potted plant fairs became a seasonal fixture in many parts of the city. Here in Tokyo's historic downtown area, many residents continue to adorn their houses with potted plants like these, lending a unique charm to these streets. So it's no surprise that this event holds a special place in their hearts.
あれば普通に5分ぐらいなんで来ちゃいます。
可愛い盆栽とかもあったりとかして見てて癒されて欲しいなって思ったりとかして。
The fair brings together about 20 vendors from across the greater Tokyo area. Sakurai Shigeru has been taking part for 50 years. What's he most proud of this year?
これを瓦のあれに乗っけてあるんですよね。瓦に上につけてあるんですよ。
いいですね、これ。
また風情あっていいんですよね。可愛いです。ちょっとね、玄関とか置いとくのにいいと思います。
そうですね。可愛い。
These are succulent plants that go by the name rock pine. Sakurai has planted them on traditional Japanese roof tiles made of fired clay.
That looks really popular. Let me check it out. Ah, wow, there's really cute little small ones in there. Look at that. The leaves are small. Everything is tiny.
Among the day's offerings, this vendor's selection of palm-sized bonsai trees is making an impression.
木ですよね、本当は。
木です。
こんなちっちゃいの木が。
木です。
This is Ono Asami, who heads a family-run plant nursery, originally started by her grandfather. Hoping to make bonsai more accessible to the public, she's put a lot of work into cultivating miniature potted plants.
鉢を大きくすると鉢の大きさに合わせて成長するんですよ。だからこのくらいに入れると1年でこんなに伸びちゃう。だから大きい鉢に入れないのが豆盆栽のコツなんですけど、このまんま10年とか20年とか育てます。紅葉もするし、花も咲くし、実もなるし。
わー、すごいね。
ミニチュア作り。
This event gets over 100,000 visitors every year. It originally began as a street market set up to coincide with a festival held at a nearby shrine. That festival was traditionally held on July 1st, during Japan's rainy season. Because the time of year is considered ideal for transplanting seedlings, the market gained a reputation for its potted plants, and the number of vendors grew until it was rebranded as a plant fair. For generations, the fair has been run by Asakusa residents. Volunteers from the community help set up and take down the stalls. Maeda Yukio is chair of the organizing committee. He sees the event as providing more than just a place to buy and sell plants.
結構こういう地見て、やっぱりのんびりできるっていう。
そうですね。
道路一本挟んで向こうは賑やかで今度こっちに始まると急に静かになっちゃうね。
それがすごい面白いと思いますね。
そのギャップがいいんじゃないですかね。
Maeda volunteered to head the organizing committee about 10 years ago. At the time, the number of participating vendors was on the decline, and the fair was in danger of being discontinued. Determined not to let the tradition die out, he stepped up and began inviting nursery owners further afield to take part.
簡単に言えば好きなんでしょうね。もういろんな言葉はいらなくて、好きでなんとか今までせっかく守ってきたもんだから、このまままだ続けていきたいねと。ある時は感じないんですけどね。なくなるとやっぱり寂しいなっていうような。季節と四季と同じじゃないですか。春夏秋冬と。この時期にはこれがあって、この時期にはこれがあってと。
はい。
The other members of the organizing committee share Maeda's emotional attachment to the plant fair and hope to keep the tradition alive for future generations.
子供の頃から追っかけてたんで、やっぱりそれをね、今消したくないし、なくしたくないっていう思いでね、今続けて、今本当にね、手を休めたらなくなっちゃうようなもんだと思うんで、今を一生懸命こう続けるようにしてます。
なんですか、こう人のつながりがね濃い、そういう町ですから、こういう植木市なんかでもずっとこうなんとか絶やさずでやっていこうっていう風になると、よっしゃっつってみんな来てくれる人が多いわけですね。
This fair embodies the soul of Asakusa and is a testament to the power of community.
I really enjoyed visiting this festival, which is rooted in history, taking my time, talking to the shopkeepers, and I learned that yet this is another face of Asakusa.
Asakusa has long had a reputation for its open-air markets. They developed around seasonal festivals held at local temples and shrines. The large crowds attracted vendors who set up street stalls along the approaches to these sacred sites. The high concentration of temples and shrines in this area led to the creation of many such traditions. There's the Japanese lantern plant fair held in July. Since ancient times, these plants were regarded as symbols of good luck because the bright red color of their seed pods was thought to ward off misfortune. Even today, it's custom to display them in homes to bring in good energy. In November, there's the Tori-no-ichi fair. The streets are lined with stalls selling kumare, elaborately decorated bamboo rakes. These auspicious ornaments are meant to rake in good luck and prosperity in business. Many merchants make it an annual tradition to come and buy a new one for the year ahead. Then in December, Asakusa rounds out the year with the Hagoita Fair. The main draw is the wide variety of Edo Oshie Hagoita, which are trapezoidal wooden paddles adorned with padded collages of kabuki actors and popular celebrities. These items first became popular in the 18th century and have since been designated a traditional craft of Tokyo. They're considered auspicious because they symbolize the idea of hitting away bad luck. For residents of Asakusa, the open-air markets are more than special occasions. Here's a workshop that makes Hagoita paddles. Noguchi Toyo-o is a craftsman specializing in oshie, which is a traditional patchwork technique where pieces of fabric padded with cotton are used to create three-dimensional designs. He's been making Hagoita for over 60 years. In modern times, the demand for these decorative paddles has been declining. Noguchi credits the annual Hagoita Fair for allowing him to keep pursuing his craft.
1年間こう作りだめしておいたものを大分市で発表するということで、年間通しての成績にかなり大きな割合を占めてますよね。大分にとっては欠かせない場所ですよね。
In this way, the open-air markets help keep Asakusa's traditional crafts alive. They also help local restaurants and bars stay in business. This is Hosoi Tadahiko, the third-generation proprietor of a century-old izakaya pub. Their signature dish is rice cooked with seasonal fish and vegetables in a small pot. Asakusa is home to many long-standing privately owned establishments like this one. Hosoi believes it's because local events give residents an opportunity to get together and socialize.
お祭りの時にお弁当が行ったり、花火大会の時には焼き鳥のテイクアウトが出たり、やっぱりその宴会とテイクアウトをお弁当で、使っていただいてますね、地元の皆さんに。
He says that the celebrations bring a liveliness to the neighborhood and is one reason Asakusa continues to be home to many restaurants serving up time-honored flavors.
すごいですね。
その門前に市が立って人が集まるっていうのはもう江戸時代からの伝統なんでしょうけれども、それがやはりその浅草っていうところには未だに色濃く残っている、または地元の人たちが残しているっていうことでしょうね。大事にしてるっていう。
Our last stop today is a shrine roughly 20 minutes away on foot from Sensoji.
There are a lot of people here. And here's the shrine, and today it's a very special day.
Ono Terusaki Shrine was founded over 1,000 years ago. Every year on June 30th, they perform a Shinto ritual that is eagerly awaited by local residents. The main event takes place on the other side of these gates, which normally stay closed. But once every year, they're open to shrine goers. One by one, the priests and parishioners ascend a small mound, 6 meters tall.
So everybody climbed to the top. I wonder what this is for.
A prayer service is held at the top. This is actually a ceremony to mark the opening of the mound to climbers.
こちらは富士山になります。江戸時代に建てられたものでですね、富士山に、ぜひ一度登りたいという方が非常に多くなったというのが、江戸時代どうにかして登れないかとで考えて作られたのがこの、富士塚になります。
This is an artificial mound known as a Fujizuka. It's made up of volcanic rocks taken from the actual Mount Fuji and transported here by boat. Mount Fuji has been revered through the ages as a sacred place where deities reside. In the 17th and 18th centuries, worship of the mountain began to spread among the public, and more townspeople began climbing it to pray for divine blessings. For believers, ascending the majestic peak was a devotional rite. But before the advent of trains and cars, the trek out from Old Tokyo was not an easy one. And so devotees began to construct miniature Fujis to serve as surrogates. This one was built roughly 200 years ago. Climbing a Fujizuka is said to bestow the same spiritual benefits as Mount Fuji itself, which has made them near and dear to believers. This one gets visitors from all walks of life. Every summer, people look forward to this once-a-year opportunity. Last year, these two made the climb as a married couple. This year, they're heading up with a newborn in tow.
3人で来れて嬉しかったです。
0歳児連れて富士山というのは登れないと思うので、このミニチュア版だけでも登らせていただくありがたい気持ちになりました。息子の健康を祈ってお参りさせていただきました。
This climber with the white cane has a visual impairment.
ここで頂上です。
Together with his caregiver, he's made it to the summit.
一つ、小さなチャレンジですけど、これを達成したことによってまた充実感も出るだろうということで今日来させてもらいました。
Okay, I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna climb to the top of this Mount Fuji. Let's see. You know, it looks easy, but you know, they made these rocks like this so you have a place to put your feet. And it's just like climbing a mountain. It's just following the trails up the mountains that people have climbed and walked many, many times before.
Felicia is actually a seasoned Mount Fuji climber who has ascended the mountain many times. She makes her way up the rocky mound, driven by purpose.
Okay, I've reached the top. So I'm at the top of this Mount Fuji in 3 minutes. I actually kind of feel a little bit emotional. I haven't been to the top of Mount Fuji for a while. I started to have like this low blood pressure and I was having altitude sickness, so I was not able to climb Mount Fuji anymore, and that was one of my loves. Every summer I used to do it. So I'm really glad and really thankful that I could come here and climb this Mount Fuji.
This Fujizuka continues to be a spiritual destination for many people.
The Asakusa area is deeply rooted in tradition. And when you get to take your time, walk around, and participate in these historic events, you really get a deeper appreciation and understanding of why that is. It's the people and this area of Asakusa. They really work hard and put it together to keep this tradition alive and strong.